Hello everybody! My name is Tinokin and welcome back to my vintage story series. First, let me catch you up on what happened on the most recent stream that I did. My most pressing goal was to get started on my garden, because the sooner I was able to get seeds in the ground, the sooner I would be able to harvest them. So I had some terraforming to do. I chose a layout of multiple smaller squares for my garden, which I believed would have several advantages. For one, it would enable me to keep track of my crop rotation, which is quite important in this game, to replenish the nutrients in the soil, at least if you don't want to keep digging up your garden and replacing it with new fertile soil. It would also be easy to expand this pattern once I had collected more seeds and wanted more garden space. I used the terra preta I had found to make 4 mini squares to do some mini crop rotation on. I had to craft myself a hoe, and then I could finally get to tilling the soil. I was so excited to finally plant some seeds, and couldn't wait to watch them grow. The next day, I went back to hunting for copper. In the new spot I had found, I was easily able to collect a small layer of copper beneath the ground, and dug out all the ore I could find. I wondered if it was normal for copper to generate so close to the surface, and if maybe digging down as far as I had last time was unnecessary. I decided to next try my luck with the spot that during my last stream had been besieged by a rift. I again dug down quite deep into the ground when I realized that the map symbol I had chosen to mark the copper made it hard for me to pinpoint exactly which spot I had wanted to mark, so I changed it. I eventually gave up on the deep hole that had given me nothing and tried again from the surface, this time trying to dig exactly where the map marker was. And just like that, I found more copper, hidden only by a layer of sand. By then, I was fairly certain that the same thing had happened at the first spot that I had tried out, so I went there to try again. I realized that the place where I had dug down was not at all close to where I had marked the surface nuggets that I found, and when I dug in the right place, I quickly located another copper vein, fairly close to the surface. So I went back home with my inventory full of copper chunks and feeling kind of silly that I had messed up so much the last time. I was fairly sure that all that copper would be enough to make my first anvil, so I made an anvil mold and also some ingot molds, and put them in the pit kiln. While those were firing, I wanted to do some more exploring. I had spotted a pear tree a little while earlier that was guarded by wolves, so I had been unable to get some cuttings. I wanted to return there and see if I could take care of the wolves, because some fruit trees were just what was missing from my garden. I approached the wolves and pillared up on some dirt, but only one of them noticed me. I hit him a few times with my spear until he fled, unfortunately in the direction of the tree. I tried hitting the wolves with spears from afar, making a complete fool of myself because I missed most of my shots. While I kept crafting new spears, I realized that I really needed to make myself a bow and arrows. After a while, the wolves had just by themselves moved far enough away from the pear tree that I dared approach it, and I finally got my cuttings. I kept exploring and found some trees that were leaking resin, which I wasn't sure what I would need it for, but was very sure that it would be essential to my future endeavors. I wandered through a strange-looking pine forest where the ground was made up of white sand and ended up at the cart of a little old lady who only went by the name Old Eyes. She was selling plaster, which looked perfect for building the walls of my house out of, but I had no way of paying her. She, however, also expressed an interest in buying quicklime, which I thought I might be able to procure. It was getting dark and I needed to get home, but I was certain that it wouldn't be long before I paid her another visit. So, this is what happened on stream. Now here's what I want to do next. First order of business, I think, is planting those pear tree cuttings, so that they have some time to grow. Next, I think I want to make my anvil and try making my first tool on that. And lastly, if we still have time, let's visit that nice old lady again in her trading cart and see if we can maybe sell her something. So I have 4 of those pear tree cuttings, and I think they only have a certain chance to actually grow into a tree. So let's see if we have maybe like 4 different places where we wouldn't mind for a tree to grow, and let's hope for the best. So one of them I'm going to place here. Yeah, it has a 40% survival chance. I think another one we could maybe place it here. How about that? Then we have some space here. I think that would work very well. And maybe one in the front of the yard as well. And then we'll just have to see which one of these is actually successful in growing into a tree. Maybe even 2 of them, but I hope for at least 1. Otherwise, I think that would be very sad, because I actually chopped down the entire pear tree for that, so we can't go back to that place to get any more. So the anvil mold needs 900 units of metal. And then we have 2 ingot molds, and I'm not sure how much metal I need for that. I'm thinking either 100 or 200 probably. So I think my best course of action is to smelt 1100 units of metal, and then we can fill either one or both of them. Okay, so let's see. I do have a little bit too much in there. So I think if I add this and then this. Perfect. Why it didn't spread out completely equally, I have no idea. But yeah, we're going to get 1100 units of copper. Okay, so this is now melting, and in the meantime I believe I also need a forge to be able to work with the ingots. And the forge is going to need more charcoal, and to be honest, I'm not sure if the charcoal I still have is going to be enough for that. So I need to make another pit, but first I'm going to make the forge. I think it's just basically this. Yes. And let's place that here. So this is taking its sweet time, but we have a lot more copper in there than we did the last time, so it makes sense that it would take longer. And as for the forge, I'm wondering if I could use brown coal for this, because I have a little bit more of that. I think it burns a little bit less hot than the charcoal does. But then on the other hand, if we're forging an ingot, we don't need the ingot to be melting completely. We don't want that. We just want the metal to get a bit softer. So let me see, how much do we need? Oh, I think only 4, so that's all right. It's almost done, I think. And there we go. All right, let's fill up the anvil mold. And there it comes. Exciting. Okay, now let's see, can we fill 1 or 2 with that? We are getting 2, nice. It's time, okay. Okay, so you're indeed able to get the anvil out of the mold without breaking the mold. I'm not sure if that quite makes sense, but okay. Okay, let me place this on there. And then turn it on. And now I need to wait. And I need my hammer. Where did I put that? Let me go and look for that while that is heating up. Found it. Now I think we can probably place the other ingot also on there. If we don't end up needing it, it will just cool down again, I guess. I need a proper place to put all my molds. But, I mean, I think if we have our first saw, we can start creating chests. Let me look that up in the handbook. Yeah, we just need boards, and we're going to get those from the saw. Yeah, I think that looks good. So I place this on here now. Okay, and now I have to choose what I want to make. Oh, there's so much good stuff that I'm going to need. I think the most important thing for me is going to be the saw. Okay, I can shift individual voxels. Okay, we're almost done. Okay. Now what do I do with that? Do I have to throw it in the water? Okay, there we go, I think. Now, after I've had something to eat, let's see how we can craft that saw. Okay, so it basically works the same way as everything else. We just use a stick and combine it with the saw blade, and we have our first copper saw. Nice, let's make some planks. Awesome. That's really cool. So I think I should now be able to make a chest. So nice. Now where am I going to put that? I think here would be a good place. And now I can put all of my molds in there. Let's put the anvil mold in there as well. And then I think I should also be storing my materials in there. So maybe the raw clay. And also the coal that I need for firing. This is going to make everything so much easier. Especially since wood is a lot easier to collect in large quantities than the Cooper's reeds. And we have so much more space in here. So we have another ingot. And I want to make something else with this. I think I want to make the shears because one thing that I'm always lacking is sticks. And those enable us to get the sticks faster. And we have some shears. I think I should throw those in the water as well. And then as soon as it gets light again, because right now is probably not a good time, I'm going to go and cut down some trees. So while we wait for day, I wanted to check on my veggies. So we have the flax here, and this one is at growth stage 2, so it's progressing. And then the onions are also at growth stage 2. And then the turnips as well, but it looks like they took some damage from the heat. So that is unfortunate. Maybe in the future I need to remember to plant those more in like the spring and fall instead of during the summer. And our carrots are already at stage 3, so they are really going for it. The spelt is also making progress, so yeah, I can't wait to harvest my first stuff. So one thing I really need is a door, and I can make that now from the planks. And I can also replace the weird door downstairs with a better one. And I'm hungry again. I think I still have food. Nope, out of food. But I should have some berries. So it seems that before I do anything else, I need to do some hunting again so that I can cook more food. Oh look, there would have been some more food in here. Well, I missed that. Okay, so the situation is not quite as dire as I thought. How much do we have here? 3 more servings? Well, that's fine then. No hunting needed right now. Let's just place the other door. And then go hunt for some trees instead. Okay, so I've learned since last time that it's a good idea to remove the leaves from a tree before you want to cut it down, because all those leaf blocks also count into the time that it takes to cut down the tree. And also you get more sticks and more tree seeds that way. So I think I'm going to try that out. So I didn't get that much wood because, as always, I couldn't help but pack in all of the other things that I found as well. But look at how many sticks I have! 2 whole stacks! That's going to help me out so much. I also got 10 whole maple seeds, and I wanted to plant them a bit closer to my home, so here I am on the other side of the water, and I'm just gonna plant them everywhere, so in the future I don't have to walk too far to chop wood. My first berry bushes have started flowering. Now it's just a matter of days before I can harvest my own berries from my own garden. So the lack of sticks is really what was keeping me from completing the fence around my island, so I think that is what I'm going to do next. And now I have a complete fence. Now the only issue is that I really need to light this place up, because as long as I haven't done that, the bad guys are still going to spawn inside the fence. So the fence is not going to help me much. So that old lady we met during the stream, Old Eyes. So she wanted to buy some quicklime, and I found out that we can actually make that out of the chalk stones that we also found near her cart. And what we need for that first is a quern to grind them down. And we can make that from those granite stones I have. And let's place that here. And now if I put those stones in there, what's going to happen? Okay. Yeah, okay, I need to grind that by hand. That makes sense. So from this we're getting lime powder, and to get quicklime we need to bake it. And the great thing about quicklime is that I found out that we can also use it to make our own plaster, so we don't even have to buy that from her. All we need are these chalk stones, which we can find close to where she is. So we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone if we make the trip back to her. It's time to visit Old Eyes again. I've got all the quicklime that I could make out of the chalk stones that I had. And it's time for a swim. Hi, Old Eyes, I'm back. Hi, are you busy? Am I interrupting something? Oh, that's fine. Oh no, she wants 16 quicklime and I only have 14. Well, that's a pity. I was hoping we could strike a deal here, but it looks like that's not going to happen, at least not this time. Well, that's okay. Next time then, alright? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Wow, you're really talkative. Alright, bye-bye. I'm going to collect all the chalk stones. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to collect all the chalk stones, and then I can come back with more quicklime for you. Luckily, there's these big boulders around here that drop multiple of the stones, so that makes it really easy to collect. So now I'm back home, and sadly I wasn't able to sell any of the quicklime just now because I forgot how much she actually wanted of it. But I wanted to try out making the plaster still. I got some additional sand, and I think we just mix the two in the crafting grid, and we get plaster. Yes, that's so cool. As for the other chalk stones that I got, yeah, I'm just going to have to spend all night standing at the quern and turning it so that I can get the lime powder. So I made myself an attic, and since the sand is affected by gravity, if we want to start replacing it with the plaster, we need to start from the top. Yeah, this looks very pretty. I like this a lot. So as soon as we get enough quicklime, I'm going to replace the entire outer wall that is right now made out of sand with our pretty new plaster material. There's a rift right over there. It looks funny. It has those lightning things that go in and out. It's kind of beautiful, in a way. Where am I? This is not my house. Hello? Oh wow, it's winter. Oh, it looks like there's some more houses over there. Does anyone live here? Hello? Is there anyone around? Hello? Anyone? Hello?